In terms of linguistics, taboo refers to words and phrases that are generally considered inappropriate in certain contexts. The use of taboo language is apparently as old as language itself. Etymologically speaking, the word taboo was firstly introduced into European languages by Captain Cook in his description of his third voyage around the world, when he visited Polynesia. Here, he witnessed the ways in which the word taboo was used for certain avoidance customs ranging across widely different things. In contemporary Western societies, taboo and euphemisms are closely entwined with the concept of politeness and face, basically the person's self-image. Generally, social interaction is oriented toward behavior that is courteous and respectful, or at least inoffensive. Participants have to consider whether what they are saying will maintain, enhance, or damage their own face, as well as to be considerate of and care for the face needs of others. There are some prototypical varieties of taboo words which are usually avoided by speakers in general terms. One of these varieties are words and phrases related to bodily excretions. In fact, except ears, all the words concerning bodily excretions are believed taboo. Some euphemisms are used in here, finding themselves in replacing them, such as answer the call of nature or do one's need replaces going to the toilet, going to the restroom, and some other taboo words. Apart from that, we also have death and disease taboo. In this case, the fear of death carries into fear of words having to do with death and certain diseases. Many people believe that words have great relations with what they symbolize. Therefore, if anything should happen to me, means when I die. Instead of saying die, people use substitute expressions such as pass away, go to his reward, answer the call of God, or to have a better place. In other terms, we can also find taboo related to sex. In here, words having to do with anatomy and sex have words even vaguely suggesting anatomical or sexual matters have remarkable connotations. However, the sexual revolution of the 1960s began to make a great change. People, particularly young ones, feel freer and more tolerant to talk about sex-related subjects, much more than when they were 15 or 20 years ago. In other terms, we can also find swearing as a type of taboo. In these terms, a remarkable variety of linguistic forms can be considered as cursing and swearing. There are the complex and sophisticated expressions that may be found in religious, legal, and other formal contexts. At the same time, there are many daily examples of taboo language that express such emotions as hatred, frustration, and surprise. The most common speech comprises single words or short phrases conveying different levels of intensity and attracting different degrees of social approval. In other terms, privacy is also observed as a type of taboo. In here, asking some questions concerning one's age, weight, income, marital status, politics, or religion, among many others, would be considered prying into individuals' personal life, which is another form of invading a person's privacy. To continue with types of taboo, we can also find discriminatory language. In this case, this type of language is another type of taboo, mainly in recent times. Many people have a growing tendency to be sensitive to what is called sexist language or racist language. On the one hand, we have sexist language, which means that language is prejudiced against the female. Studies of sexism concern with the effect of language on people's attitude towards women, which prejudiced against women and in favor of men. On the other hand, we have the racist language. As we know, racism is the belief that some human races are naturally superior to others. Racist language is that which shows a bias against certain racial or ethnic groups. It is the language that degrades or belittles them to some extent. Sometimes we will hear racial remarks or ethnic jokes, which are defined as jokes about the supposed stupidity or ignorance of certain groups. Such jokes may appear funny, but they are offensive nevertheless. As a conclusion to all what has been said, taboo and euphemism affect us all. We all probably have a few things we refuse to talk about and still others we do not talk about directly. Even though we know the words, we still prefer to express ourselves on those topics very indirectly. We could also may have some words which are hardly ever used because they are too emotional or too offensive. In that way, we have to understand that each social group is different from every other in how it behaves in this way or that way. So mutual respect in the use of language is the basis of friendly mutual communication.